Greetings, one and all, and welcome to episode number 49 of Thoughts and Hunches, making money in bunches and sucker punches. Your boy Stoney is back for the 49th time, and I want to welcome all of my favorite hustlers, lowlifes, cheats, scumbags, hoodlums, fienders, degenerates. You're back for the 49th time because it's safe to say I'm on a heater. I'm red hot. Now's the time to jump on board. I tell you this and you don't listen, and it's costing you, well, it's not costing you money, but you could be making money. Let's go over the numbers real quick because there's a lot of numbers to get to, from last week to this week to COVID to all kinds of craziness that's going on in the sports world right now. Last week, the numbers are pretty staggering. There were only there was one NCAA football game last week, and we hit both sides of it. We had Navy and the under in the Army-Navy game. Boom, hit them both. That put our final regular season college football record at 137 wins, 100 losses, and 2 ties. That's 57.8%. I challenge anybody to give 237 picks and try to do better than that. 57.8 for the season, that's phenomenal. We'll take that all day long. NFL, second straight 10-3 week last week. 10-3, yes, just like we did the week before. That's 2 weeks in a row, 10-3. We're now 109 wins, 64 losses, good for 63% in the NFL. Staggering. NCAA basketball, we took a dip last week. We went 6-9, and we had to close the week strong after a really, really rough Saturday morning last week, which really cost us, but we bounced back and got it to 6-9. So we're 35-25 on the season for college basketball. That's 58.39%. Sure, why not? So for the week last week, 18 wins, 12 losses, and again, another winning week right in the books. For the season now, 280, this is overall, 281 wins, 189 losses, 2 ties. That's good for 59.79%. We're closing in on 60% for the season. That's just stupid. Now, we're almost at 100 games over 500, which is also staggering. Now, here's the other thing. Last week, at the end of last week's episode, I gave you 2 bowl games that were played today because I knew of my work and my timing and the time that I was going to film this and the time you guys got to see it. You were going to, if you wanted to get down on these 2 bowl games, I had to give you the picks last week. So I gave you the picks last week, and sure enough, started out with a bang. Today, bowl game number 1, the very first bowl game was the Bahamas Bowl. And I mean, let's face it, anybody that goes to the Bahamas Bowl has already won because you're in the Bahamas and you're playing a bowl game in late December. You can't, well, mid-December right now, but yeah, I mean, come on, you can't beat that. Anyway, I had both sides of that, right? I gave you MTSU, the Blue Raiders from right down the road, about a half hour in Murfreesboro. Middle Tennessee State plus 10, covered the number 1 outright over Toledo. We had that one, and we also hit the over 52.5. So we hit both sides of that. So we're already 2-0 in bowl games. And I didn't count that in last week's numbers. That's going to go on to this week's numbers. So anyway, 2-0 already. And the next game, the other bowl game, is being played right now. 4th quarter underway. Northern Illinois, who I gave you at plus 10, against Coastal Carolina. Northern Illinois leads by 8 in the 4th quarter. Looks like that's another winner. Now, I certainly missed the total. I mean, I gave you under 62.5, and there's still 12 minutes left, and they've already combined for 74 points. So I missed that one. So unless Coastal Carolina can score like 3 touchdowns here in the 4th quarter, it looks like I'm going to go 3-1 in bowl games to start out bowl season. I mean, come on, That's what it is. So now, all right, before we get into the picks, let me explain something. COVID is running rampant through sports. College sports, pro sports, games are being canceled, games are being postponed. All I can tell you is to look at the numbers. If I give you a number here and numbers change, because numbers are going to change. NFL move 3 games back today. So the numbers are clearly being affected by this. So just know your numbers. If the numbers are off by more than 3 or maybe 2 or 3 points in an NFL game from what I'm giving you, back off or play it stronger, whatever you want to do. That's on you. But I just want you to be very aware of the numbers and what I give you on Friday as to what they are by the time those games go off. Okay? So there we have it. Let's move on. We'll start in college football bowl season. Here's the deal. Tomorrow, Saturday, it's 6 bowl games. 6, yes, count them. Monday, there's a bowl game. Tuesday, there's a couple bowl games. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day next week. With the only game, Sunday, there will not be a game. There's bowl games all week, and I have them all for you through Christmas Eve, next Friday night, which is when I will post my next video, right? So the next video goes up on Christmas Eve, and that'll get you set for the week from Christmas into New Year's Eve. So there we go, all right? We'll start tomorrow, Saturday. I'm going to give you dates and times for every single game. Saturday, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. An early start in Boca. Why not? The Boca Raton Bowl. 10-3 Appalachian State is 3-point favorites over Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky comes in at 8-5. This is a classic example of offense versus defense. WKU is all offense. They're pass happy. The quarterback, Bailey Zappi, get to know the name. He'll be throwing in the NFL very soon. 5,500 yards and 56 touchdowns this year. If he throws for 289 yards tomorrow, which he will, and if he throws for 5 touchdowns, which probably won't, he'll be the number 1 all-time passing quarterback in college football, major college football history, FBS. Yeah, let that sink in. He's going to pass Joe Burrow and Colt Brennan to college football icons. Yeah. So anyway, all offense, right? That's WKU. That's how they got in. The App State, on the other hand, right? They lost last week to Louisiana in the Sun Bowl title game. They have the number 2 defense in the nation in tackles for loss. They have a balanced offense. They grind it out. They've never lost a bowl game. They're 6-0 all time. And since 2012, the Sun Belt Conference is 10-3 in bowl games versus Conference USA. That's big. That's a big stat, right? Well, I'm gonna keep rolling along. Appalachian State minus the 3. Lay the points. App State minus 3. As far as the total goes, under 67.5, big number. Western Kentucky can score 50 on you, but they won't against App State. So App State in the under, that's your pick for the Boca Raton Bowl. Game 2, Saturday, 2:15 Eastern Time, the New Mexico Bowl in Albuquerque. You've got Fresno State at 9-3. They come in as 11.5 point chalk over UTEP. Texas El Paso is 7-5. The last 3 weeks for Fresno State, the head coach, the offensive coordinator, both left. And the quarterback, the senior quarterback, Jake Hayner, he got into the transfer portal, then changed his mind once they found out that Jeff Tedford, former Cal coach, former Cal coach is going down to Fresno. So he changed his mind, wants to stay at Fresno. So now the interim head coach doesn't really know who he's going to start, right? Lee Marks is the interim coach, and he literally has 3 quarterbacks, and he doesn't know who to play. But he says, "Oh, they all look good, and they're all great, and they're happy to be in Albuquerque." Sure, they're going to win, okay, but can they cover 11.5? UTEP, on the other hand, this is their, forgive my dog barking in the background, but anyway, UTEP's got the highest win total that they've had since 2014, which is huge, but they also have the longest bowl winning drought in all of college football. right? The last time they won a bowl was the 1967 Sun Bowl. Yeah, Sun Bowl doesn't even exist anymore. They have no wins against winning teams, but they still wound up to win 7 games to sneak their way into a bowl bid. I like UTEP plus the 11.5. Like I said, Fresno wins, but Fresno doesn't cover. With the head coach and the quarterback uncertainty, no. Fresno wins. UTEP covers plus 11.5. As far as the total goes, it's at 51.5. I'm going to take the over there. Both teams can score, and neither defense is very good. So we're going to take the over there. Moving on, Saturday, 3:30 p.m., the Independence Bowl in Shreveport. Number 13, BYU comes in at 10-2. They're 7-point favorites over Alabama Birmingham, who's 8-4. This is UAB's 5th bowl game ever. Their only bowl win was in 2018. Now, they do have losses to Georgia and Texas San Antonio, both ranked opponents, and they played well. They run the ball really well behind Dwayne McBride, right? He's their workhorse, and that's what UAB is going to try to establish. The problem is BYU's far superior, right? They're only 7-point chalk, right? They're disappointed that they wound up going to the Independence Bowl, considering they got the 13th ranked team in the country in the college football playoff standings, not the AP standings. They have wins over 5 Pac-12 schools, right? They're going to the Big 12 in 2 years, right? And they average 33 points and 457 yards per game. This one could get ugly, and I think it will. BYU dances because BYU, some will say, oh, they're disappointed to be there and they're not going to put forth their best effort, but Kalani Sitake, their head coach, is just going to keep their focus, and BYU is going to roll. This one's going to get ugly. BYU -7, totals 54.5. Take the under, okay? Lending Tree Bowl, Saturday, 5:45 p.m. Again, all times Eastern. This one's down in Mobile, Alabama. 7-5 Liberty comes in as 9.5-point chalk against 7-5 Eastern Michigan. Liberty is in their 3rd straight bowl game, and they won their last 2 as an independent. They're not affiliated with a conference yet. Hugh Freeze is disappointed in his season this year after last year's sort of breakthrough year where they went 11-1. He was disappointed with the 7-5 finish. Now, they have a quarterback. This is another quarterback that you got to watch. Junior Malik Willis. This guy, he's gone, right? He's in all the mock drafts. He's going to be one of the top 3 quarterbacks taken in the NFL draft. Dual threat quarterback, runs, throws, does it all. And he's really something to watch. So make sure you check him out. Eastern Michigan is now in their third bowl game in 4 seasons. They did lose their last 3 bowl games, but they lost them by a combined total of 10 points. And I see more of that happening tomorrow. They can score. They score 31 points a game, and they do have a balanced rushing attack with 3 or 4 different backs that just keep coming out at you. So I like EMU. I'm going to take Eastern Michigan plus the 9.5 against Liberty. Liberty wins but doesn't cover, and I am going to take the over 58.5 because both teams can definitely put some points on the board. Moving on, Saturday, 7:30 p.m., the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. Please, sorry. Screw Jimmy. I can't stand Jimmy Kimmel. If you like Jimmy Kimmel, you got problems with yourself. But anyway, Jimmy Kimmel has a bowl game, and it's in LA. It's in Inglewood. I don't get it. But anyway, in the inaugural Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl at 7:30 tomorrow night, you've got Oregon State from the Pac-12 comes in at 7-5. They're 7.5-point chalk over 10-3 Utah State. Oregon State's in their first bowl game in 8 years. They finished 6th in the Pac-12. They kind of stumbled down the stretch after they turned a lot of heads earlier on in the season and through the midpoint of the season. They're 4th in the nation their top tackler, Avery Roberts, is gone for this game. He'll be in the NFL next year, linebacker, but he's out with a leg injury right now. But their running back, B.J. Baylor, is a guy to watch. He's their workhorse, and he's going to get plenty of carries. Utah State comes in as the Mountain West champs. They're looking for their third 11-win season. They feel like they're disrespected as dogs because they won them. Like I said, they won the Mountain West last week, and they don't feel like they're getting enough love, especially from the odds makers who make them 7.5-point dogs. But they've played well all year at 10-3. I like Utah State. Again, is it a pattern here with all these dogs? I don't know. You never know. Well, here's another one. Utah State plus 7.5. As far as the total, 67.5. Way too many points. Take the under. Saturday, 9:15 p.m. This is the last game on Saturday. The New Orleans Bowl. And this one has the makings of a pretty good matchup. 12-1 Louisiana goes down the road a little bit to New Orleans, and they're ranked 23rd. They're 5.5-point chalk, and they take on Marshall. Marshall 7-5, and Marshall is, get this, they're 12-4 in bowl games since 1997, which is second in the nation in winning percentage since 97. That's pretty impressive. That's 24 years, and they've gone 12-4 at a 75% clip. They're fourth in the nation with 35 rushing touchdowns. They're 10th in the nation in total defense. They are leaving Conference USA for the Sun Belt in 2 years, so they're going to be in the same division or in the same conference as Louisiana in 2 years, which is kind of ironic here. Now, Louisiana, on the other hand, they're 4-1 in the New Orleans Bowl, so this is their sixth trip. They lost to Texas way back in week 1, and since then they've ripped off 12 straight. Yeah, 12 in a row. Head coach Billy Napier, we all know the story. He left, took a greener pastures and bigger wallet. Took the money and went to Florida, so he's going to be Florida's head coach, and he coached his team to the Sun Belt Championship last week, or 2 weeks ago, but is not there for the bowl game. He's busy recruiting now for the Gators, so he's gone, and offensive coordinator Michael DeSormo is making his head coaching debut. He's the new head coach taking over for Napier, and he's going to be the head coach going forward. He's got a loaded squad, that's for sure. His team's better. I'm taking Louisiana just because I like the Cajuns. I like the way they've played. They've played hard, and they're going to continue to play hard tomorrow. Take Louisiana, lay the 5.5. As far as the total goes, take the under 54.5. You got two pretty good defenses here, and Louisiana runs the shit out of the ball, so they're going to keep the numbers down. Moving on. That was all 6 bowl games for Saturday. Now moving on to Monday. Monday, the Myrtle Beach Bowl at 2:30 p.m. Old Dominion, 9.5-point dogs against Tulsa. Tulsa comes in as 9.5-point favorites. Both teams are 6-6. Tulsa's won 3 straight just to get in here, right? They run first, but they have a balanced attack, and they do like to stretch out the defense after they run the ball first. One of the best names in college football is their running back, Xavier Valaway. Here's a guy who has an X, a Z, and a V in his first name. How many people can say that? Xavier Valaway. He's responsible for 28% of the I'm all over the place. They're number 2 offense in the WAC. They run first and they pound the ball, and Tulsa, Xavier Valaway, don't worry, I'll come back to you. Tulsa, that's what they do. They run the ball, and it's a balanced offense. Old Dominion, on the other hand, they started out the season 1-6, but since then have won 5 in a row, right? Turnovers can be a problem for them. They did have a lot, but Tulsa turned the ball over too. So this kind of has the makings of something where you don't really know what's going on, especially with both teams that continue to turn the ball over. Quarterback Hayden Wolf, he stepped in midway through the season and kind of balanced out the offense, and they've been putting up a lot better numbers than they did in the first half. So I like ODU. I'm going to take the Monarchs plus 9.5. And as far as the total goes, take over 52.5, because like I said, with all the turnovers and shit that could happen, it's going to go over. Okay, moving on. Tuesday, 3:30 p.m., the Idaho Potato Bowl. This one's in Boise. Wyoming comes in as 3-point chalk. They're 6-6, and they take on the 7-6 Golden Flash from Kent State. Wyoming is 2-0 versus the MAC this year. They got wins over Ball State and Northern Illinois, who I bet in this game right now. And they lead by 2 with 7 minutes left, but they're getting 10. So I'm still in very, very good shape there. Anyway, this is Wyoming's 4th straight bowl game since 2014. They're 1-2, though. They have lost 3. And Xavier Valade, that's where he is. He's at Wyoming. He's responsible for 28% of the Cowboy offense, right? So check him out. He's a really dynamic, exciting player. Kent State, this is their 3rd straight winning season, but they would have to win today to keep it a winning season, or win on Tuesday, because a loss would have them finish 7-7. Quarterback Dustin Crum is a dual threat quarterback, does it all, runs the hell out of the ball, doesn't throw for huge numbers, but is solid and doesn't turn the ball over. 16 passing touchdowns, 11 rushing touchdowns. So I like Kent State in this. I'm going to take the 3 points. It's only a field goal, but I'll take it. I like Kent State +3, and I like under 59.5. Moving on, Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m., the Frisco Bowl in Frisco, Texas. This one's a good matchup right here. You've got 11-2, 24th ranked San Diego State. They're 2.5-point dogs to UTSA. Texas San Antonio, the Roadrunners, are 12-1. Their only loss was to North Texas about a month ago, which was just inexcusable. And it was a blowout loss. It was a bad loss. Otherwise, they'd be 13-1 and wouldn't be playing in the Frisco Bowl. They'd be knocking on the door of a New Year's Day bowl. They won Conference USA. Their running back, Sincere McCormick, another great name, first name Sincere. Sincere McCormick, 1,479 rushing yards. He's their workhorse. He's going to get the bulk of the carries here against San Diego State, but San Diego State will be ready for him. San Diego State's got an excellent defense. San Diego State's got 2 losses, to Fresno, and then 2 weeks ago to Utah State in the MAC championship, or the Mountain West championship game. This is their 10th bowl in 11 years under Rocky Long. They always seem to get there. They're 4-5 in bowl games under Rocky Long. And Greg Bell is their answer to Sincere McCormick. Sincere McCormick gets all the carries for UTSA. Greg Bell is the workhorse for San Diego State. This one has underwritten all over it. I like San Diego State plus the 2.5 and under 49.5. Wednesday, 8 p.m., the Armed Forces Bowl in Fort Worth, Texas. Army, 8-4, 3.5-point chalk against 6-6 Missouri. Missouri, their 2nd straight year that they're at 500. Tyler Beatty, their running backs, rushed for over 1,600 yards, but they just don't throw the ball very well, and they do have problems with turnovers, and that's going to hurt them against Army. Army season was just a total roller coaster. They won 4, then they lost 3, then they won 4, and then they lost last week to Navy in the big rivalry game, which I had cover Navy and the under. 75% of their yards come from rushing. We know that. This is Army. It's the triple option. It's what they do. But here's something. Here's a staggering statistic. 10 different players for Army this year have rushed for over 100 yards in a single game. 10 different players. Certain players have done it a couple times throughout the season, but 10 different players have rushed for at least 100 yards. That's just crazy. It all starts with quarterback Christian Anderson, 1,138 yards passing, which he doesn't get enough credit for. No interceptions, only 5 touchdowns, but they're not throwing the ball downfield. They're running the ball. They're running the triple option. I like Army. I like them to bounce back after the loss to Navy. I'm not sold on Missouri. I was earlier in the season, but they just fell off a cliff. So I'm going to take Army, lay the 3.5 in the Fort Worth Bowl. In the Armed Forces Bowl in Fort Worth. And I'm also going to take the under 57.5 because, well, hey, it's a bowl game and it's featuring Army. So as we move on, Thursday night, I gave you the Frisco Bowl. This is the Frisco Football Classic in Frisco, Texas. Thursday at 3:30 p.m. You got Miami of Ohio as 3-point favorites against North Texas. Both teams are 6-6. If this doesn't say watered down bowl games more than anything you've ever heard, Miami of Ohio and North Texas, both teams at 6-6. I don't know what to tell you. North Texas has lost their last 4 bowl games. They're 3-5 all time against the MAC conference. This year they won their first game, then they lost 6 in a row, but bounced back to win their last 5, including their last 3 by 20 games plus. They're third in the nation with 246 yards rushing per game. And that's what they do. I mean, that's what the Mean Green is going to do. They're going to run, and they're going to run all day and all night. Excuse me, I needed that. Miami of Ohio, on the other hand, they're 6-11 all time versus Conference USA. Now, 4 of their 6 losses this year have come by less than 5 points, so they're playing tough games, close games. The first 8 games, they only had 240 passing yards. The last 4 games, they've had 369 passing yards. So they seem to figure it out on offense, especially passing the ball. I like Miami of Ohio. I like the MAC in this situation. I'm going to take Miami of Ohio, lay the 3, and take under 54. Moving on, Thursday night, 7 p.m., the Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa. You got 2 Florida schools, UCF versus Florida. Florida's 6-6. They're 6.5-point favorites over the 8-4 Central Florida. This one could be a good matchup because Florida's a mess. I mean, let's face it. Billy Napier's in, but he will not be coaching. They have a interim head coach for this one. They started out 3-1, then they went 3-5. That's what got head coach Dan Mullen fired. Their last losing record was in 2017, and they're going to need to win this game to avoid a losing record. The interim coach is Greg Knox. Yeah, of course, it's Greg Knox. He's taking over for Napier in this one, and he's going to be calling out the plays. And they're 6.5-point favorites in the meantime. Central Florida, on the other hand, they started out season 3-3, but since then they've won 5 out of 6. The big problem is they're 3-18 all time versus the SEC. So anybody that has is harboring any illusions of them taking this game and winning it, I don't know about all that. I mean, that's a huge long shot. Wide receiver Brandon Johnson, 11 touchdowns. He's a superstar, and Central Florida, they're going to try to get him the ball early and often. I like Central Florida in this spot. I think Florida wins, but I think Central Florida gets the cover, 6.5 points. So take UCF plus the 6.5 and take under 55.5. Finally, the last bowl game out of all these crazy bowl games that I've given you is the Hawaii Bowl. Well, Coastal Carolina just scored again, so now they lead by 6. They've combined for 88 points. It's 47-41 with 6 minutes left. So as long as NIU doesn't completely shit the bed, then I could still get a cover. And a touchdown will really lock it for me for NIU. Anyway, the final game is the tradition. It's not a tradition unlike any other, but it is a tradition every year, Christmas Eve, the Hawaii Bowl. When you're, especially for your West Coasters that are at home and it's 6-7 o'clock and you're going over and you're eating and you're opening up your presents and you got the big family there, the Hawaii Bowl's always on in the background. I love it. Love everything about it. This one's at Hana Stony Lulu, 8 p.m. on Christmas Eve. Memphis is 7.5-point favorites over Hawaii. Memphis is 6-6. Hawaii is 6-7 and made a bowl game. Yeah, you gotta love it. Memphis is 6-8 in bowl games. They started out 3-3, then they went 3-6. Right? They are 4-4 in games that were decided by less than 6 points, and they've got a stud freshman quarterback in Seth Hennigan. He's going to be there for a while, and he's already put up big numbers. He's number 2 in passing for freshman quarterbacks in all of FBS, and he's only going to get better as it goes on. Hawaii, on the other hand, is 7.5-point chalk. They're 5-4 career in the Hawaii Bowl. They're 8-6 career in bowl games. They won the last 2 after a 3-game losing streak, and they're 4th in the FBS in defense in pick sixes. And with a freshman quarterback like Hennigan, if he makes a mistake, Hawaii could capitalize. Either way, I like Hawaii plus the 7.5. That's a big number. Plus, I'm always partial towards dogs playing in their home stadium. So give me Hawaii plus 7.5 and give me the over 55.5. So there's all 13 bowl games right there. Boom. From not even counting the 2 games today. Starting tomorrow, I just gave you 13 bowl games for the next 7 days. Yeah, it's definitely enough. Okay, let's move on. College basketball, Saturday. Here we go. Ready? A lot of numbers. I got to come at you quickly because we're already a half hour into this. 12 p.m. Butler plus 15.5 against Purdue. I like Butler. 12 p.m. Tennessee versus Memphis. Memphis is 5.5 point favorites. This game's played right down the road here at Bridgestone in Nashville. I'm going to take Tennessee plus the 5.5. 1 p.m. Gonzaga minus 8.5 against Texas Tech. This game's in Phoenix. I like Gonzaga. Lay the 8.5. 2 p.m. TCU minus 2.5 at Georgetown. TCU's the pick. 2 p.m. Temple 3.5 point favorites against Drexel. What do I do? What do I always say in games featuring the Big Five? Always take the dog. Drexel plus 3.5. That's your pick. 2:30 p.m. Indiana versus Notre Dame. I like Indiana minus 3.5. This is part of that Indiana special. They did Butler Purdue first, followed by Indiana Notre Dame. They're all played in Indianapolis. 2:30 p.m. Louisville, 2.5 point favorites over Western Kentucky at Western Kentucky up at Diddy Arena, which got blasted. Bowling Green, Kentucky got drilled by the hurricane or by the tornado last week, and they're going to play a game in Diddy Arena. I like Western Kentucky plus the 2. Home dog, 2.5. 4 p.m. Marshall minus 3.5 against Northern Iowa. Marshall's the play. 4 p.m. Another game down in Phoenix that follows the Gonzaga Texas Tech game. USC 8.5 point favorites over Georgia Tech. Take USC. 4 p.m. Xavier at home at the Cintas Center in the Queen City. 10.5 point favorites over Marquette. Give me Shaka Smart in the 10.5. That's a big number. Xavier wins. Marquette covers. 10.5. 4:30 p.m. Utah minus 5.5 versus Missouri. Utah's the play here all day long. Lay the 5.5. 5 p.m. UAB 3.5 point favorites over West Virginia. I like West Virginia plus 3.5. Give me Huggy Bear all day long. 5 p.m. Connecticut 6.5 point favorites over Providence. I like Providence plus the 6.5. That's too much of a number. Connecticut wins. Providence covers. 5:30 p.m. marquee matchup of the day as far as Blue Bloods go. Kentucky 1.5 point favorites against North Carolina. This game's played in Las Vegas after UCLA bowed out. They were supposed to play North Carolina, but now they jump in and play Kentucky. So Kentucky, give me Kentucky minus 1.5 against Carolina. 7 p.m. Fort Worth, Texas. Oklahoma versus Houston. Oklahoma State versus Houston. Houston's 9.5 point favorites. Give me Oklahoma State plus the 9.5. Kind of sort of semi on the road. All right. 9 p.m. Saturday night. Auburn heads to St. Louis to take on the Billikens. Auburn's 5.5 point chalk. I like St. Louis. Give me the home dog at 5.5. 9 p.m. Iowa minus 3.5 against Utah State. This one's up in South Dakota in a neutral site. Give me Iowa. Lay the 3.5. 10 p.m. Oregon at home against number 1 ranked Baylor. Yeah, number 1 ranked Baylor goes all the way up to Matthew Knight Arena up at the Quack Attack in Oregon to take on the Ducks. Baylor's 7.5 point chalk. I'll take Baylor. I'll take Oregon. Baylor wins, but Oregon covers. Give me the 7.5. Finally, the Degenerate Special, which I am on an absolute roll. 5 in a row now, right? Wins on the Degenerate Special. Here comes another one. 11 p.m. Saturday night. Nevada at home versus Loyola Marymount. Nevada Reno is 6.5 point favorites. Give me Nevada. Lay the 6.5. There you go. There's 19 college basketball plays for you. How you like them apples? Moving on. NFL. This is what a lot of you wait for. Again, days have been changed. Numbers have been changed. Just I'm going to give you as much info as I can and just try to bear with me. And again, these picks are you, and you're the ones that are going to have to live with them. And we'll see what happens, where we stand COVID wise. But here's where I stand on Friday night at about 7:50, right? So there we go. Okay, here we go. Saturday, only one game now on Saturday because the Raider game was moved to Monday. Saturday, one game. Indianapolis, 2.5-point favorites over New England. I like New England. Usually in this spot, I would love to take Indianapolis because everybody's on Indianapolis right now. And I just found out Damian Harris is out for New England. He will not be playing, but I still like New England. Somebody's got to beat them, and if they're going to lose, this is a perfect spot for them to lose in, but I like New England either way. I'm going to keep rolling with them, take the 2, and their dogs, 2.5. Sunday, we start out with Buffalo at Carolina. Buffalo's a 7-6. Carolina's a 5-8 mess with quarterback problems, with running back problems. Give me Buffalo, lay the 11.5 at home all day long. Sunday, this one has the makings of being a good matchup, even though neither team is all that great right now. Tennessee's 1.5-point favorites, and they head into Pittsburgh, into the big giant ketchup bottle to take on the Steelers. Steelers are 6-1. I like Pittsburgh. They're a different team at home, and Tennessee just has not impressed me since Derrick Henry's been out. Give me Pitt, plus 1.5. Sunday, 10-3 Arizona, minus 12.5 on the road at Detroit. Give me Zona all day long. Yeah, it's a short week, and they got to travel to Detroit. But they lost on Monday night to the Rams. They're going to bounce back and just pummel Detroit here. Sunday, Miami, minus 9.5 points at home against the Jets. Give me Miami all day long. I don't know how Miami's favored by 9.5 points over anybody, and a lot of strange shit happens between the Miami and the Jets, but right now, Miami's playing really good ball, and they're coming off of a bye week. The Jets are a mess. Give me Miami, lay the 9.5. Another big favorite, give me Dallas, minus 10.5 at New York Giants on the road at Snoopy Stadium. Dallas, this is a get-right game for them. Just like Buffalo has a get-right game against Carolina, this is Dallas's get-right game for Dak to throw for 4 or 5 touchdowns. Dallas dances. Jacksonville, we all know the story with Urban Meyer. We all know what happened. Some people are saying, oh, they're going to play inspired. I've never seen a coach get fired 3 days before the game and see the point spread move in favor of the team whose coach just got fired. This one did. It moved up 2 whole points because that's how much Las Vegas knows that Jacksonville hated Meyer and they couldn't wait for him to go. So they're going to play inspired football. Nope, sorry. Give me Houston plus 4.5 at Jacksonville. Jacksonville wins. Houston covers plus 4.5. Cincinnati heads to the Mile High City. Both teams are 7-6. Denver's 3.5-point 3-point chalk. Give me Cincinnati plus 3 after a tough overtime loss last week. Atlanta heads cross country to take on the 49ers in Santa Clara. 49ers 7-6, Atlanta 6-7. They're both fighting for playoff spots. Atlanta somehow is still in it. 49ers win. Atlanta covers 9.5. Way too many points. Give me Atlanta all day long. Green Bay, 10-3, heads into Baltimore. Baltimore's got COVID issues. Green Bay, the line's moved up to 6.5. It started at 7, it went down to 3. Now it's all the way back up to 6.5. Give me Baltimore. I'm going to take the points. Green Bay wins, Baltimore covers, plus 6.5. Sunday night, Tampa Bay, 10-3, 11-point favorites. They're at home, and they take on New Orleans. New Orleans has COVID issues. Sean Payton won't even be on the sidelines. But the number's 11. I'm going to take New Orleans. I'll take that all day long. New Orleans plus 11. Give me that. Monday. 2 games on Monday. We'll start with the Cleveland-Las Vegas game that got pushed back from Saturday to Monday. Now, this is one of those crazy games because of the COVID response to the numbers, or the numbers response to the COVID. Excuse me, I had that one flipped. Either way, right now Las Vegas is a 1-point favorite. They're 6-7. They're taking on the 7-6 Cleveland at home. The Browns, give me the Browns. I don't think they're going to be down to their 3rd-string quarterback. Either Baker Mayfield or Case Keenum, one of those guys has to blow a negative test so they can play before Monday. So give me Cleveland at home plus the 1. Monday night, Chicago versus Minnesota. Minnesota's 5.5-point favorites heading up into Soldier Field. Minnesota's too damn unpredictable. I like Minnesota. I root for Minnesota, but no, not in this situation. Give me Chicago. Minnesota wins. Chicago covers. Plus 5.5. Tuesday, the last 2 games on the board. Tuesday will be Seattle. Seattle heading into SoFi Stadium to take on the Rams. The Rams are 5.5-point favorites. Give me the Rams. The Rams have their COVID issues, but now Seattle's starting to get a couple. But give me the Rams. Lay the 5.5 right now. That game could be up to 7 or 8 by the time kickoff goes. If it goes that high, I'd back off. But at 5.5, I would pounce on the Rams. Also Tuesday, the last game on the board, Philadelphia minus 8.5 against Washington. Washington is absolutely decimated. They just signed a quarterback today who I've never heard of, who is probably going to have to start. Yeah, Philadelphia's got issues too, but their number moved from 11.5 down to 8.5. So give me Philadelphia, lay the 8.5 at home. There you go. That's all 15 that's all 15 NFL plays. Now, how does that sound? Okay, here we go real quick because we're at the 41-minute mark now. All right, here we go. The 4 picks that I gave you, all right, it looks like I'm going to go 3-1 in those 4 picks from last week. So those will get tacked on to this week's numbers. So, all right. Yeah, there's 2 minutes left. Northern Illinois has the ball. The only thing that's going to cost me here is like a pick 6 or something. Got to do my cross, God forbid. Anyway, the numbers I just gave you going into next week, 13 bowl games with totals. So that's 26 picks right there. 19 NCAA basketball plays, 15 NFL plays, plus these 4. That's a grand total of 51 picks free right to you. 51 picks. And with the way I've been rolling, if you don't jump on board, man, you are just missing the boat, right? That's a grand total of 51 picks. I'll take 31. 31 wins. That's 60%. I'll take that all day long, baby, like Lionel Richie. That's right. 31 is the number we're shooting for. That's the number we're going to get. Now, remember, if you want to make money, you got to bet money. If you want to win big, you got to bet big, period. Okay? To me, the action is the juice. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you.